White Plains, New York right now, or whatever the town is. I'm on 95. Headed up to Massachusetts and then New Hampshire to pick up my first of the snowbirds for the season, which I think it's only actually going to be 2 runs this year, which I'm not upset about. So I'm going to pick them up today, which is a Friday, and deliver them in Hilton Head, South Carolina on Monday. Kind of works out perfectly. They fly out Sunday, so they'll be good till Monday. I'll be there probably about lunchtime or so to deliver them, so they'll be okay. I think they have another car down in, I think they keep their extra car. They have 3 cars instead of, I transport 2 back and forth. So I think they have a convertible Mercedes in South Carolina, so that'll work out perfect. But my buddy who's a dealer at the diesel shop, is a dealer, the guy bought the 7.3 from, said, hey, how much to deliver this truck to Massachusetts? I looked it up, and then I looked up how far away I would be from my pickup in New Hampshire. It was an hour and 15 minutes. I was like, here's the price, I'll do it. I said, I'll take it up, I won't broker it or find somebody to do it. Here's the price. He's like, all right, well, I'm waiting for the guy to wire me the money. It should be tomorrow morning. Once that clears, I'll let you know. So I wait till the next day. I hear from him. It's good to go. I was like, hey, I'll pick it up either Wednesday or Thursday, and then I'll get it up there. Kind of waiting around on my customer up here in New Hampshire, the person I'm actually accommodating, because her husband has some medical issues, they have some appointments, they need the car. You know, just trying to line it up around their schedule and my schedule all at the same time. So I ended up realizing that my license was going to expire. I don't know why. I just kind of forgot about it. You don't really think about it. And I was like, I looked at my license one day I had to get the issue date off of it for something. And I was like, oh shoot. I said, that expires on the 4th, which is tomorrow, no, the 4th is today. Yeah, it expires today, which is Friday. Like the 5th is my birthday. I don't want to go on my birthday and have to deal with that. So let me try to get an appointment and get it done. Well, couldn't get an appointment until late yesterday. And then I had a doctor's appointment at 6 o'clock because that's the nights they have late appointments. So my GPS just made a noise. Let's see why it's trying to reroute. Oh, it doesn't look like it was actually rerouted. That's the route I was going. Anyways, I was like, okay, I'll leave the doctor's appointment. I'll be out there at 6:30. It's 2.5 hours down to my buddy's house, and then I'll head north. So like, I get out of my doctor's appointment a little later than expected, and then I start going down towards the Bay Bridge. I got to cross the Bay Bridge, and as you know, like that's really the only way to get over to the Eastern Shore Mountain. That's unless you go all the way up and back down. So I'm driving. It's late, so I'm like, traffic on 695 won't be bad. Traffic on 97 won't be bad. Bay Bridge be fine. It's later in the afternoon or later in the evening, and driving down 97, I got those signs where it says, you know, so and so place, 20 miles, X amount of time. Well, I'm like driving, and I'm like, did I just see what I think I saw? I was like, nah, it couldn't be. So I kept driving. I got to the next sign, which said 13 miles, and it said 97 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the heck is going on? So So I didn't have my GPS up because I know where I'm going. I usually flip it on, you know, if I'm trying to get an ETA or whatever.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder.
So I flip on the GPS and I'm like, what the heck is going on at the Bay Bridge? So it said like traffic was like 99 minutes is what it said on Waze. I was like, oh my gosh. So when I thought I was going to be there between 9 and 9:30, I didn't get there until 1 a.m. last night. So I text the guy that I'm delivering this truck to. I told him around 8 o'clock, which was conservative. I was like, then I texted him this morning. I was like, hey, it's looking closer to noon. You know, I was like pretty much in 4 to 5 hours of traffic last night. So I didn't hear anything back. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, I deliver it. It pays me. We're all good. He decided that he was going to text the guy that sold the truck and said, do I really have to pay this? Do I really have to pay this asshole? You know, he's going to be 4 to 5 hours late. I'm thinking to myself, I'm a pretty quiet person. And I was like, hey, you never text back, because we had a three-way, it was the seller, the buyer, and me. We were in like a three-way chat. And I said it in there because that's how we had all been communicating. So I didn't say anything back because he texted the seller directly. So the seller, being my friend, sends me a screenshot of it and was like, I'm not even going to respond. He goes, I know you didn't get here till late. I was already asleep and I didn't hear you. He's like, yeah, I was like rolled out at about 1:15. I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to get up here and there's going to be two things that happen. Either he's going to come off hot and be like, oh, I'm not paying you, or I'm not paying you the full amount, or he's going to not say a word. I'm going to unload the truck, hold the key till I get paid, and then I'm going to say something. But if he wants to be hostile, I'm going to leave it on the trailer. I'm going to drive away. I'm going to go to the nearest tow yard, give him his information, tell him to impound it, and then it's not my problem. As far as getting paid for transporting it, we'll deal with that. But I'm not gonna play those games, nor am I gonna let somebody talk like that. Like, I get it if you're frustrated, and if you want to say something, just say it to me. Don't text somebody else and then never respond to me. Like, I would have no idea you're upset, or if you want an explanation, because you never text me, you text somebody else. Well, another day, another dollar down here, and just pulled into South Carolina now at the rest area, welcome center. Use the restroom. Headed down to Hilton Head, South Carolina. You guys have seen these vehicles before. This is probably about I don't know, fifth or sixth time I've hauled these vehicles for this couple that travels back and forth from New Hampshire down to Hilton Head. Go to Hilton Head in the winter. There's a fly in here, and he is not making this trip any farther. Out the window, come on. It's like when you get a bird in places and I can't figure out how to get out. There he goes. So I got another about 3 hours till I get down there. I drop off, and then I'm deadheading back home because I am going down to North Carolina. That I made a little video about and talking to people about donations and stuff. I'm going to load about 20 round bales on this trailer. They're pretty dry, so they should be, I don't know, 600 pounds a piece or so. Soon it'll be 14,000 on the round bales, and then some other supplies. But so we'll be heavy headed down. Going to north of Asheville. It's a little town called Bernardsville, I think. That's where the supplies are going for this gentleman. I kind of got his information. I think when I was sent his information, it was written down on a napkin. Just had his name and number. And that's how I got a hold of this guy, and he was in need of help. So figured that if we can help him directly, we will do that. So he's got a bunch of livestock that he doesn't have any feed for now because it was all washed away, and doesn't have any fence left because it was all washed away. So we're gonna keep going. Customers just hanging out waiting for me. They flew down yesterday. This is a place I've had trouble getting in before. The security at this gated community is terrible. It's like they've got two separate entrances, and they route commercial traffic through one entrance. You have to have a permit. It's cash only, which my customer said she'd pay for the last time, which she did, but she put it down as I only had 10 tires, and they charge you by the tire. So like I got 12, 6 on the truck, 6 on the trailer. And they wanted to, oh, it was a fiasco. So finally, I don't remember the outcome of that. I finally got through there. But this time they told me to come to the separate entrance, the non-commercial. They have a pass there for me, and just to tell them I'm visiting, and they should let me through. So I'll see what happens. Not too positive it'll work, but the first time I went there, that's the gate I came through. The guy was like, oh yeah, you know, what's their address, their number? Okay, all right, sounds good. And then I was just on my way. The last time I was down here, that's when it was like at least an hour hold up outside the gate, and my customer was just waiting for me to deliver their cars. We have touchdown at Hilton Head, South Carolina. Let's walk over here and see if, we might have to walk a little closer. See if our alligator friends are out over there. It's like 2 alligators that are in this pond over here. And I can usually see them just floating around in there. We'll have to see if we can see them before we leave. Park in this big open field here. And then they live right down this road. So I'm gonna drive this one back. She'll drive me out. I'll bring the other one back. She'll drive me back to the truck because her husband doesn't get around too well, but at least we got our plants with us. Well, it's good to see everybody taking this seriously. This Hurricane Milton, I think it is. Oh man, stuck in traffic here in South Carolina. Just about every car. I say that, but there's some normal South Carolina traffic here, but a lot of these tags on these vehicles are Florida, and like 4 or 5 people on every single car. So those are people evacuating, I guess, that have places to go even farther north in South Carolina. You know, people evacuate, but if you're evacuating and you're planning on like going to hotels or, you know, like Airbnbs and stuff like that, gets expensive. And I don't know how some people, I know some people aren't even able to afford it. So it's like, where do you go? And, you know, you gotta hope some people have like family that are farther north that they can go spend a week with, or maybe even longer than that, because if you're on that west coast of Florida and you're in like the Tampa Bay area, there's a chance you might not have a place to come back to. So see a lot of people getting north, but that's the right thing to do. There's only a few certain instances where riding out the storm makes sense. You know, obviously farther inland, like Orlando and stuff like that, is the surge is obviously what gets everybody. So if you're close to water, whether it be like the ocean, obviously, or intercoastal, or it's just, you know, take what you can with you and get out. It's sad, but I mean, that's the harsh reality of living in Florida. And Florida people are built different, man. They're prepared for this kind of stuff. You know, some people are like, oh, we've been getting hurricanes for all these years, and it's yeah, some people are prepared for it. Like I was in Fort Myers. excuse my ignorance, I don't remember which hurricane hit Fort Myers. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, and like the surge was so high, the water was so high, it took out a lot of stuff. It could have been 3 years ago. But I remember going down there, and I picked up a car from a gentleman that lived on a waterway, and he has roll down like watertight garage doors that were built into his house. So they're like power garage doors that push down when they go down like on the ground to create like a watertight seal for his house. Now granted, this guy had a very, very, very nice house. You know, you walk out, he took me inside to write me a check, and you walk in his front door, you walk into the kitchen, and it overlooks like an indoor-outdoor pool situation, and then you look back farther down that, like you can stand at the kitchen like counter bar area and look down into like the pool. Pretty neat spot. Be a nice place to host some parties. Anyways, and then farther that into the yard and everything, there's the waterway, and he's got a dock and all that. But you know, we were talking about that, and I said something like, there's a lot of empty lots in this place, because he said his house was built in like the 80s or 90s, and I was like, there's a lot of empty lots in this place. Did they not I don't know, are they building more houses? Are they selling lots or what? He's like, no, those were houses. They were completely demolished. They were so bad that they had to just completely tear down the houses, and it was just like a sand lot now that people were either going to rebuild or couldn't afford to rebuild and got out, and now just the lots for sale. But it was like there was nothing left. You know, by the time I was in there, you know, months and months later, they just had completely torn down the houses, hauled everything off, and it was just a sand lot. So that guy, you know, is fully prepared, and he doesn't even stay. Like, he's like, I leave, I shut the house down. If it's here when I get back, great. If not, it is what it is. You know, and he's an older gentleman, probably in his 60s or 70s, does very well for himself. So he has a place. He has the means, should I say, to go. And I'm sure he probably has another house somewhere up north. But my point being is, like, even if your house is the safest and prepared for that stuff, it's like, water is a just devastating, you know, event. Like, any surge, especially salt water, highly corrosive. You know, salt water gets into everything, ruins everything. The wind, you know, a lot of those houses are made to withstand high winds, but it's the water that, you know, that just completely ruins houses, ruins everything. Like, I know that after this last hurricane, like some places in Florida, like the amount of sand from the surge of the you know, the water coming up from the ocean, there was like 20-foot high piles of sand that they had to dig through just to uncover. And you know, now we got another hurricane coming. I think they may be okay. I think it was more of like the peninsula, and this looks like, or the panhandle of Florida. Now this looks like it's going to hit right dead center on the Gulf. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I couldn't imagine having to, you know, choosing to live in a place like that. It's beautiful. It's like a dream, but having to deal with that every single year and worry about losing everything in that house. You know, a lot of these are just vacation homes for people, so a lot of people are either just now getting down there for the winter or not there yet. So I've canceled my trip down there. My one customer, she was just like, hey, I'm not going. She's like, I don't have a place to put my car. I already have two cars in the garage, so I don't want it sitting outside. And I don't know if there's going to be a community when left. So I'd rather just stay up here until it passes and then kind of evaluate. And then my other customer, he's an older gentleman. He's probably in his 70s or 80s. He's like, I'm like, what's your plan? Because they're not flying down till Saturday. It's supposed to make landfall Tuesday, Wednesday or something. He's not supposed to go down till Saturday, but he wanted his car down there when he got down there. So I was going to leave like Wednesday. He called and he was like, yeah, it looks real bad. We'll just postpone. And I'm like, what are your plans? He's like, oh, we were still planning on heading down Saturday. I'm like, well, I hope you get down there and the place is still there, because his sister lives in the same community, and I guess she's down there full time, and she's evacuated. They went over to the East Coast to another place that they could stay. So, it's still going to be bad, but not as bad as far as like the surge and all that. So, I get to sit in this traffic. I don't know how much farther I'm going to go tonight. I was hoping to get into North Carolina and finish it out in the morning, but I'm not that far from the border. They've got a lane closed up here, which is part of the problem with traffic, but it's the volume of cars that are trying to get north right now.